School, and today I'm here in San Diego for MACNA 2016. And I'm just going to ask him a couple quick questions for an interview. So, first off, Julian, I have, of the books you've written, what has been your most popular one?
I would have to say that Volume 1 of the Reef Aquarium series was the most popular.
Do you have any reason why that would be the most popular?
Most likely because of the timing. That book was introduced really at exactly the time that it was needed in the hobby, and provided so much information, got the hobby growing, and it lasted really for a good generation.
So I know you have the name Two Little Fishes for your company. How exactly did you come up with that?
Well, I can't take credit for it. I didn't come up with the name, although almost all the names you see afterwards I to do or came up with. I'll tell you the story briefly. When Two Little Fishes was founded, the first product was a video, and there were two of us that formed the company. The partner was Daniel Ramirez, and he had an associate in his business, and that associate's wife, hearing about what we were doing making this video, she said, "Oh, you guys are the Two Little Fishes." And so Daniel said, "That could be our name." And he asked me about it, and I said, "Gee, it sounds a lot like a pet store name, but I like it. I kind of like it." So it's stuck just like that.
So last, do you have any advice for someone like me who's interested in marine biology?
Oh, that's a broad question. Well, yeah, okay. Since you're asking me, I have some advice. Number one, don't lose your passion. You figure out what it is about marine biology that you enjoy the most. Obviously, you're a successful student at this young age. He's 12. If you want to be successful in any career, it helps to have some background in business and in finance. And that's especially true of somebody who, if you're studying marine biology, that means you're in the sciences. They're going to teach you math, they're going to teach you chemistry, biology. Somehow or other, the coursework is not going to include finance and business. You should study that. That's what I recommend.
So last but not least, I have one more question. We're going to play a quick game. It's going to be called Fast Five. So I have 5 questions you're going to answer them as fast as you can. Alright?
Now I'm scared. Okay.
Favorite coral?
Favorite coral, Cinerino.
Favorite fish?
Mandarin fish.
Favorite injury?
Sea otter.
Favorite scuba/snorkel location?
Oh, that's different. Scuba and snorkel. Shoot, that I can't do fast. Well, Red Sea was pretty darn nice in Sharm el Sheikh. And I haven't finished going so many places. I really enjoyed Indonesia very much in scuba and the Solomon Islands. I can't, sometimes you have to say multiple.
And last, how many years have you been in the hobby?
Well, I started keeping aquariums when I was 11 years old, and I'm 50 now, so that's 39 years, not 49, 39 years. Yeah, so it's long.
Alright, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm here with Kyle from Pacific's Aquaculture, and can you tell us a little bit about these seahorses?
Absolutely. These are erected seahorses. They are about 18 to 22 weeks of age. We have been feeding them frozen mysis shrimp since about 6 or 7 weeks old, and that's all they eat, so they're very easy to keep. They don't require any live food, and main thing about them is to keep them at lower temperatures. That's the key to successfully keeping seahorses. About 76 tops.
How many exactly are in this tank?
Believe it or not, there's actually over 100 seahorses in this tank here.
What kind of seahorses are easy to keep in captivity, and are there any
Well, actually, that's a good question. The rectus here are actually the easiest to keep in captivity. That's one reason why we breed them and sell them for aquariums. There are quite a bit of seahorses that aren't able to keep in captivity, and that is mostly due to conservation efforts. One of my favorites is actually the zebra seahorse. That if you look up on Google, there's only a couple pictures of them that exist, but they're actually magnificent animals. I would love to someday maybe be able to work with them.
For a beginner that wants to maybe keep seahorses, is it easier to keep a bigger tank with seahorses or start with a small?
Well, we recommend at least a 30-gallon tank for a pair of seahorses and about 15 gallons additional for every additional pair. They are social animals, so you don't want to keep them by themselves. So a 30-gallon tank is a good size to start with.
What do you say if someone wants to start with seahorses? How long do you think it should take them to set up a tank, and how experienced do you think they would have to be?
Well, with the tank, I would get it set up and cycled like any regular reef tank for at least a couple weeks to allow the biological filter to establish itself. And then you can introduce the seahorses. They really aren't that hard. A lot of the stigma that surrounds seahorses comes from when only wild seahorses are available. They don't eat well, they're weak individuals. You put them in the tank and they get blown around by pumps, so that's where the misconception that they don't like high water flow comes from. Captive bred seahorses and a good diet of mysis shrimp, they're not necessarily harder than any other fish to keep. Just again, I'll point out that main thing is water temperature, 76 and below, 74 even better. Thank you very much.
Dr. Mac from Aquaculture, and I'm just going to ask him a couple questions. So first off, tell me a little bit about your education.
Well, I'm a veterinarian, so I went to veterinary school, and then after veterinary school, I did a residency at the University of Pennsylvania in pathology, and I'm board certified in veterinary pathology.
And why did you decide to start with seahorse?
Well, I've been a hobbyist, marine aquarium hobbyist since 1968, and so I've been involved in it as a hobby most of my life. And the hobby got a little bit out of control, as it probably will for you. It's, you fill up your one tank and then you start another tank, and so for me it just it got a little extreme, and we started selling frags, and we said, well, we need to make this into a real business. So then we started Pacific East Aquaculture 16 years ago, and actually started in our basement, and then it grew into us designing and building our current facility. And now we do retail and wholesale and travel all around the world hand-picking corals.
So what are the pros and cons of selling corals online?
Well, the pros are, like anything else online, folks can go on there and see exactly the piece that they're buying. So you have what you see is what you get photos. So it's really easy for folks to pick out what they want, and like anywhere else online, they can add the shipping and look at all the costs, and so it's easy from that standpoint. The difficulty is, like any online business, you're unfortunately open to negative reviews that may not be honest. So you could have competitors that could put reviews, you could have someone that has a minor complaint and make it look as though it's the worst thing in the world. So yeah, that's the big challenge, is you sort of live and die by your reputation, and when you're online, people are going to look at those reviews and they may be honest or they might not be very honest. So that's a little difficult aspect, because you really can't respond to those effectively.
What is the most popular coral you sell?
That's difficult to say. There's so many that we sell. We have some hobbyists that are looking for beginner corals, and we have other folks that are more advanced that are looking for more premium corals. So it would be really difficult to say what the most popular coral. Possibly acropora, I would say, because they're a little bit more difficult to grow, so there aren't as many vendors that sell them. So I'd say maybe acropora.
And I just want to play a quick game with you. It's going to be called Fast Five. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you have to answer this fast.
All right.
Favorite coral?
Acropora.
Favorite fish?
Wrasse.
Favorite invert?
Favorite invert, did you say? Hermit crab.
Favorite snorkel or scuba spot?
Fiji.
And how many years have you been hobby?
Since 1968. You'll have to calculate that.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Subscribe to my channel.
Clouds, all emerges from beneath us.